Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have just witnessed peak fiction. And, not too long before I watched this movie, I managed to start and finish my first run of Sonic Adventure 2, so I was more than prepared for this one. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 continues the 2020 Sonic W streak, and to be honest, I find this one to be the best in the trilogy. This is quite a rare feat for not just movies, but franchises as a whole, where it gets better and better after each installment. But with all that out of the way, let's get right into it. For starters, I really like how this movie focuses more on Sonic and crew as opposed to the human characters. Look, I like Donut Lord and all, but let's be honest, I go here to see Anthro Hedgehogs beating the shit out of each other, and to see Jim Carrey pull off Jim Carrey shenanigans, and to see a 12-year-old girl get shot. So, the Egg Duo. As expected from Jim Carrey playing two characters in the same movie, we got plenty of comedic moments, one of which is a fourth wall break acknowledging the fact they're both being played by the same guy. But while the comedy may work for Eggman's case, I don't think I can say the same for Gerald. You see, in the original source material, Gerald is a far more serious and sympathetic character who is never inherently evil. Meanwhile, in this movie, he has a far goofier and sadistic counterpart. He acts more like a variant of Eggman that has a name that sounds like a specific word I really don't think I should say. Now, look, I know serious isn't really the first thing that comes to mind when you think Jim Carrey, but I feel like his demise could have at least been more emotional. Speaking of emotional, Maria gets killed, obviously, though she dies in a different fashion. Cause you see, shooting a kid is too dark for a kid's movie, so instead, let's just get her incinerated by an explosion caused by a missed shot. Cause that's clearly more kid-friendly. But, as I just said, Maria got killed, so we got our lore, everyone. But, moving on from that, we didn't get the Bio-Lizard in this movie, which I had a feeling this would be the case. I mean, this movie is less than 2 hours long. I don't see how they could squeeze in Bio-Lizard without making it seem forced. I mean, he was already last minute in Adventure 2, and it's not like, let's say, Demise from Zelda, who has a massive impact on the lore. All Bio-Lizard really did was give Sonic and Shadow a big bad to team up against, and even then, the Eclipse Cannon was enough to fulfill that role. Speaking of Shadow, he is actually my favorite character in this movie, which I bet is a surprise to absolutely no one. Shadow is a goat in this movie, and he always has been a goat. Keanu Reeves as Shadow is excellent casting. Need I say more? And just as I had the gut feeling would happen, Shadow allegedly dies in this movie, just like how he allegedly died at the end of Adventure 2. Oh yeah, that's right, there's a second post-credit scene which reveals Shadow survived, so I sure hope someone picks up that phone, because I fucking called it! For real though, I could see us getting a Shadow spin-off show like Knuckles did. It could definitely be like Shadow 05 with Black Doom and whatnot. Moving on from that, we also got Live and Learn in this movie, so if that isn't the textbook definition of based, then I don't know what is. Anyway, I know Eggman ended up dying in this movie, or at the very least it's implied he died, but I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be dead for very long. I mean, I don't think it would be a wise idea to get rid of Jim Carrey Eggman for good, to be honest. Now that I think about it, didn't he say he retired after Sonic 2 came out? Well, that sure aged well. It's like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. He's gonna keep doing this till he's 90. He always comes back. There's no way this egg is gonna be fried for long. See what I did there? Anyway, post-credit scene. The reveal of Metal Sonic and Amy. Right now, all I gotta say is, please Paramount, give us Neo Metal and the Metal Overlord. Cause seriously, a live-action Metal Overlord just sounds too badass to pass up. And I had a gut feeling they were gonna add in Amy one way or another. Can't wait to see how that's executed. This time it seems like we gotta wait 3 years as opposed to the 2-year gaps we've been getting in between movies. So I just know they're gonna cook with this one. But yeah, I think that's about all I have to say about this movie. To plug it all in, I rate Sonic the Hedgehog 3 a 9 out of 10. Again, absolutely goated movie. Watch or rewatch this as soon as you can, cause I know I will. Speaking of watching, let's take a look at this Peak Fiction's competition. Not gonna lie, I kinda forgot Mufasa existed until just recently. Probably not gonna watch it unless you're really interested in seeing what I have to say about it, but to be honest, if it ends up being something boring and soulless to the point where I have nothing to say about it, which is probably how it's gonna turn out, I might not even bother. There's also the Craven movie that just came out, which I heard sucks, but let's be honest, when has that ever stopped me? I really gotta see how the Sony Spider-Man villain universe that doesn't include Spider-Man concludes. I wish you all a happy new year, and be sure to stay tuned for the stuff I got planned for 2025. There's a lot in the oven right now, but I promise I will deliver. Also, Megamind vs. the Doom Syndicate ran at 300 subs. What are you waiting for? Subscribe and hit that bell. But yeah, until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya, chump.